Okay, so we are recording now. It's been a few minutes. We were talking previously about employment. This is kind of like my segment on how to keep employment, how to have good employment, on how to make sure that you are, you know, finding your way. If you're somebody who's, sort of in the beginning of your career path, are you on the right path, and these tips and pointers are going to help make sure that you're landing jobs in places where you can grow, that you're not wasting your time working at a company where there are hindrances, that you're sort of, keeping your guard up and you're being careful with what you do, careful with what you say, that you're making the right kinds of connections, things like that. So, and these are all really important things to having a career. When we talk about a career is something where you're married to your job, right? Um, you have you start off with an education, which is what helps you get to the point in which you can have a career, and then finish your education and you start a career. That's the beginning, is the most rough part, but it's where you learn how you will manage your career, how you'll handle your career. Will you specialize within your career or your field? Will you leave your career entirely and go somewhere else? All of those things are questions you have to ask yourself. So you're not wasting any time, because the average career is 40 years or so. And 40 years is a blink of an eye for a career. You can do a lot in a career. You can do a lot of self discovery. You can do a lot of things. You can accomplish a whole lot in 40 years. But the truth is, how much energy you put into it, how much thought you put into your career, is really what is going to help you get your career to take off. So, um, you know, having the job isn't the only thing that you need to think about. You have to think about, what are the prospects with this one specific job. Do your research. Like I said, that was point number two. Do your research. That's like that's one of the main things. I should really call that point number one, to be honest. It's so important. It's such a big deal for you to know where you're going. Research, if you think about how companies, how businesses work, they use research data to inform their decisions. I want everyone to think about their own lives as a business. Your life, the way it's run, has to be efficient, because, like I said, life is short. If you're starting off your career slowly, you want to take your time, then you want to know where you're going. You want to know where you're headed. You're not just going to start taking risks and working at a job that's not going to lead you anywhere if you were planning to take your time. That's going to land you with no business at the end of your career, nothing to sell, no equity in anything at all. And you're going to be probably left working for a company or corporate where you're in a situation where you have no choice, you have no autonomy. Nobody wants to be at the age of 50 or 60 or even 70 nowadays without autonomy. That's what I think everybody should strive towards. That's the main, I think that would be like the main goal or aspiration someone should have in their life. Can I achieve autonomy? Autonomy is a beautiful thing. It allows you to pick your hours, do what you want. And at the end of the day, life isn't about having an 8 to 5 job and working. And, you know, you work your job so you can make money. You make money so that you can live. It feeds into life. So without money, you can't, like I said before, you can't pay your bills, you can't go on trips, you can't pay for your house, you can't pay for your car. So the job it is like the bedrock of your life at this point. right? So if your job is stable, then you'll have a lot of other stability to build on. So that's why I say job stability is key. So how are we going to build job stability? Okay, like I say, some of the ways to have job stability is by creating it yourself. I mean, I think that the best things that we have in life we make ourselves, we do ourselves because they're sort of customized to our own liking. So that's why we absolutely need to make sure that we have a stable job. Okay. So the point of this video is to emphasize why it is that we are really talking about job stability. It's like the most important thing you will ever come across in your life. I'll speak from personal experience. I have no problems admitting this. My father did have job security issues, and there's something to be said about his approach to you know, having a job and trying to keep a job. So, and the truth is, he was not a bad worker. I mean, he was a very hardworking person, to be quite honest. He worked hard, he did his job, he went to work early. He even, oh, God rest his soul, the, the day he found out that he had cancer, he went back to his workplace and told his boss. His boss said, "I'm sorry, I'll let you go home early." And he stayed the full time. That's a true story. So, it's illustration of the fact you can work as hard as you want. You can be as good of a worker, as diligent as you want. And I'm sure everyone watching this right now is a diligent worker because you're listening to me talk right now. You're trying to get information on how you can be that person. So I'm letting you know that I know people that have done these things, but have tried this before. It doesn't work certain ways. It only works one way. It's a tried and true. It's no reinventing of the wheel. Okay? The wheel's already here. Let's use it as it stands. So let's understand how our work culture happens, how it works, so that we can capitalize on that and use that to have our stability that we crucially need. You crucially need job stability in order for you to be able to have a life. So that's it for this segment on job stability. Stay in tune for the next segment. We're going to be talking about different aspects of the job environment, ways for us to, stay on point, stay targeted,